Hello everyone. So I have an unusual little incident for you here, which ties in with a lot that's been happening around Crimea lately, especially Ukraine's recent actions on the northern coast. This video clip shows Russia blowing up the wreck of the old oil tanker Ibrahim-Yakim just off the Tarkhankut Peninsula in Crimea. The Tarkhankut Peninsula is a place where Ukrainian commandos raided Crimea on August 24th. Now, at the time, Russia claimed that was basically a propaganda op and that the commandos left without doing any real damage. Of course, that being Russia, I dismissed it as twaddle immediately, and Russia's recent actions around Cape Tarkhankut do suggest that the Ukrainian raid did cause some actual damage. So, why would blowing up this wreck help Russia's defense of Crimea? First, let's take a closer look at it. The wreck of the Ibrahim-Yakim is here, just over 600 meters from the Crimean coast, and here, zoomed out to show its location on Crimea's north coast overall. The Ibrahim-Yakim was a dry cargo ship that sank here in 2010 after being damaged in a storm. The wreck site has since become a popular diving spot. So, why would Russia blow it up now? Well, the simplest reason that I can think of is that this provides a blind spot. The wreck is about 25 meters long, so feasibly, small Ukrainian assault boats could approach the Crimean coast using this wreck as cover to avoid being detected from observers and radars monitoring the sea and the like on the Crimean coast in this region. So, is this how Ukraine carried out its amphibious raid on Crimea? As a quick reminder, this was reported to have took place on the 24th of August, around the same time that Ukraine hit an S-400 launcher there, and around the same time that Ukraine recaptured the Boyka oil drilling platforms in the Black Sea. We don't have many details of the raid itself, but it consisted of small boats armed with commandos who landed on the Crimean coast and were reported to have destroyed radar and communication equipment before leaving. It's unconfirmed, but a few people online say one of these was destroyed in the raid, a Nebo M radar. This is the RLMD variant, said to be able to track targets at ranges of up to 600 kilometers. Ukrainian commandos were caught on camera moving through the campsite highlighted here on this map, so it is very close to the wreck, which is highlighted in red. Also close is the likely location of the radar site. Now, although this is a radar site, it is unknown if this is what was targeted by the Ukrainian commandos, or if it hit a different radar position and communications position, likely established at some point during the war located in this region. But this is all pointing towards Ukraine utilizing the wreck of the Ibrahim-Yakim to get its boats close to the coast undetected and then land its troops near the shore, likely close to the campsite. They then headed across land in order to hit a radar position, either the one we can see on Google Maps or another more temporary one established here. So, pretty interesting. I think it's clear that Russia saw this wreck as a potential threat that Ukraine could exploit, and I think Russia may have come to that conclusion because they decided that Ukraine has already actually used this wreck to approach Crimea during that raid and avoid being observed. Another possibility I've seen suggested is that Ukraine used this wreck in order to get a boat close to the coast in order to attack the S-400 system positioned here on August the 24th. Ukraine says Neptune was used in that strike, but there has been speculation that a small attack boat with a missile rigged on it was used. A few people speculating it was Brimstone too. But I'm going to dismiss that. While it's certainly possible, Ukraine said it was simply a Neptune missile strike, and we saw Neptune used a couple of days ago as well to hit another S-400 too. So I think Ukraine has just modified the Neptune for a ground attack role. So now, I think the wreck of the Ibrahim-Yakim, though, was used during the commando raid. Now, that isn't all that I have for you today. I also have some satellite images. Now, I originally intended to do this video about a week or so ago, but more important and more interesting events in Ukraine meant I pushed it back and pushed it back. But as these tie in with Russia's defence of northern Crimea, then I thought I'll take a look at it now in this video. So this first satellite image is from August the 24th, the same date as Ukraine's amphibious raid. No time is given, but it is daylight. The commando raid occurred early morning between 3 and 4 am. So this image shows 6 patrol boats off the Crimean coast near Cape Tarkhankut. Now, we can't confirm for definite if these actually are military ships. Civilian ships do travel along this region too. But such a large number of ships or boats at the same time on the same day of the commando raid, to me, this looks like a stepped up patrol of this coastline. This image was shared by MT Anderson on Twitter. I will have a look later what these boats might be. The next image is from September the 6th. This shows 7 boats looking like they're patrolling the Crimean coast, the same region again. Now, we don't see high numbers of patrolling boats on any dates between August the 24th and September the 6th. For example, this image from August 29th shows just 1 boat here, and again, it could be a civilian one. So, it could be that September the 6th, another possible raid by Ukraine was attempted, or Russia detected some sort of boat off the coast and thought another raid was taking place and sent these boats here to patrol the coastline. Now, again, some could be civilian vessels, but it does seem an awful lot of boats in one spot at one time to be civilian, and this isn't really a high traffic area. So to me, this suggests these are patrols by Russia. Another possibility, some sort of training exercise. So let's have a look now at what possible ships these could be. So Russia has 2 anti-sabotage squadrons, specifically designed for protecting the coastline and protecting key areas for attacks and raids like the one carried out by Ukraine. These 2 are equipped with 6 Grachonok-class ships, seen here. Now, 4 of these were ordered in 2017 as well, for Russia's National Guard, intended for protecting the Crimean Bridge. So, yeah, no comments needed for how good a job they did there. So these boats near Crimea could be some of these. The other ship which we have is the Raptor, shown here. In total, both anti-sabotage squadrons had 6 Raptors. Now, Ukraine had damaged or destroyed 6, so these might all be gone now, or the Raptors have been repaired and replaced since. These are smaller than the Grachonok though, perhaps too small to be detected on satellite imagery. Finally, the 102nd Anti-Sabotage Patrol operates with Flamingo class, shown here. They have 2 of these. So some of these boats could be a combination of these ships, but we can't rule out other vessels such as Coast Guard ships or armed tugs being used to patrol. This stretch of coast is here shown on Google Maps, the Tarkhankut Peninsula, and it's no coincidence that Russia started patrolling this area after Ukraine raided it. And to me, that suggests the raid caused some damage. The saboteurs who landed were said to have hit radar and communications equipment. And yes, I have spotted the point of no return, foreshadowing perhaps that this may be the point of no return for one of these patrol boats. And I also spotted the bowl of love. So Ukraine sending a loving drone this way would be quite fitting. Here it is zoomed out just to show its area on Crimea overall. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting. If so, please click like and subscribe. And before we finish, I'm going to play a message from Sanath about the ongoing fundraiser, which is nearing its end now. One good push will get it over the finish line. Thanks to everybody who donated.
Dear friends, my name is Sanath, and I've been living in Ukraine for the past 10 years. During this time, I've made many good friends, one of which is my gym instructor, a gentleman called Yuri. At the start of the conflict, Yuri went to join the military, and I decided to stay on and work as a volunteer, providing essential equipment to the front lines, to the battalion, to make sure they're fully supplied as best as I could. That meant lots of fundraising, support from different communities, etc. But we've been tremendously successful and made a huge impact for the guys at the front. We've recently finished a fundraiser with Sukhamimus, and a couple of days ago, Sukhamimus very kindly broadcast our thank you message from the battalion. So hopefully you caught that. I'm here to ask for support for what is essentially a bit of a boring topic. The utility vehicles inside the battalion have taken damages, they need repairs, maintenance, broken engines, broken gearboxes, nothing colourful or fancy, but there's a massive shortage of this stuff in Ukraine and an abundance of it in UK. So with your support, I'm planning to purchase some purchase hardware, load it up into a Pajero around about mid-October and transport it over to Ukraine to keep these guys on the move. These utility vehicles are essential for medical supplies, getting to the civilians, for providing food to battalions. They load them up with shells, so howitzers. Sometimes they get to the front and they're in a danger spot that they don't realise, and they need to get out real fast, and they load 10 people into the trucks and just make a run for it. So you understand the vehicles are critical, but they also wear out quite quickly. Below is a link to my to a crowdfunding site, a third-party crowdfunding site, and also I think we're going to include PayPal in this. So with your continued support, let's try and get this over the line and help those boys out. They are making the ultimate sacrifice in large numbers, and this is not just a local problem out in East Europe. This is a problem that affects us all everywhere. So with your very kind support, we can continue this fight and bring this conflict to a successful conclusion. Thank you.